Now this is not a video about how to read a book. That can be summed up pretty nicely in Dimitri Martin's This is a Book, which has a section specifically devoted to how to read that particular book, which can generally be extrapolated and applied to many a general common or garden book. No, this video has a different purpose. This video will break all those rules for normal book reading, because it is concerned not with how to read a book, but how to read all the books, a task I'm assigned at least weekly with regards to writing an essay. Thus consider this video a supreme aid to university-related keyboard mashing. Now of course things will differ from uni to uni, but my own experience is that you will never be able to read everything they set you. You will never be able to read even half of it. So the moment they give you a reading list, start going through it and try to determine which books are the most important with regards to the question you have been set. If your tutor is kind, he might have already marked on the reading list which are the most relevant books. You just need to accept early on that you'll never get beyond the essential reading to the mystical shores of the recommended reading. Once you've determined which books you want to read, get ye to a library, or even two, and off you go, book hunting. This will involve triumphs and pitfalls, joys and sorrows. You may cry bitterly, of course not out loud, that's a library crime, over finally coming to the shelf that should have your precious book and turns out to be empty. You can smile satisfied to see that even though the library is an academic library, they still have copies of Harry Potter. But you can't get distracted and start reading them. The key thing to remember as you sit before 20 or so books is that you are interrogating these books, not reading them. You'll probably miss or purposefully skip over a lot of the information they hold, but that's okay. All you need is enough information to write your 2,000 or so words on this week's topic. If given a book to look at and no other information, your first port of call should be the list of contents. Do any of these chapter titles stand out as particularly connected to what you're meant to be writing on? Introductions are also a good thing to read. They often summarise the arguments of the book, so you can pick it up without having to wade through countless pedantic examples. Or they could serve to direct you to a specific part of the book that might prove useful. If you're unsure about a chapter, or perhaps a whole book, try just reading the first and last paragraphs, or the first paragraph of each section. It's good to go through your list as well and pick out any journal articles you might spot in there. These can often be identified by ending in acronyms and journal numbers. Often you'll find these have all the information of a book on the same topic, just in 30 pages rather than 300. They're also generally available online, meaning you won't have to fight over them with fellow students, or be denied access to them because it's 2 AM and the library's closing. Also, never underestimate the importance of marginalia. If other students have already been there first and have underlined the important bits, use them. Let them direct your reading. If you're reading a book and really not finding it useful, stop. Go read something else. Yes, such transient reading would be a crime if you applied it to a normal book under normal circumstances, but there your aim is different. You're reading the book for the book's sake. At university, you're reading the books for your essay's sake. As a certain Miss Umbridge said, this is school, not the real world. We must read accordingly.